Hello Libra. Libra, welcome to your reading for the 26th of November until the 3rd of December 2025, and it's going to be general, so please take what resonates and leave the rest. And let's welcome in the archangels, ascended masters, light beings, spirit guides, and of course our higher self to assist with this reading. Any beings who would like to be present to assist us is most appreciated, and we thank them in advance for their presence. Okay, Libra, we're going to first of all just look at something that you're doing at the moment, or an energy that you're kind of embodying, I suppose. Let's have a look at this one. I have the Knight of Cups. So this is about, love coming in. You are, I guess, looking after your emotional well-being. Maybe you're kind of exploring a form of creativity or looking into your intuition and your spirituality as well. We'll just grab another card or we'll jump one out. Here we have the Magician. So I think maybe you're tapping into the fact that within you, Libra, your emotional life and the power of your emotions is a great resource that you are, I guess, maybe you're starting to express or you're starting to get in touch with, and that this is going to be perhaps fueling you and motivating you as you move forward. We're going to grab a couple of cards now to look at your, the High Priest. Oh, sorry. This is actually the Hierophant card in this deck. It's actually the Priest, which is kind of cool. This is like that Hierophant energy of being grounded but centered with spirit. So your higher self is definitely probably making itself known to you, and you're definitely kind of coming into contact with that, accessing it, and your conscious mind is aware of when you're moving into higher self mode. Okay. Also, when your conscious mind is also becoming more aware about when you are raising your frequency. Okay, you understand what that means for you. Justice has also come out here. So, this is about you, really, your higher self coming into alignment, okay, and using your intuition too. This person here has a blindfold on. So it's not necessarily that you are seeing things visibly, it's that you are really sensing into what's true for you and really feeling into what's a good balance. I'm going to grab another deck and we're just going to look at something that's happened recently here, Libra. But yeah, I mean, Magician and Hierophant and Justice, really great energies. Here we also have, these two have popped out. We have the High Priestess, okay, and the Eight of Wands. So maybe just recently, Libra, you've really taken, you've really made some movements towards your inner wisdom and your own intuition. Or it could be that maybe there are lots of things changing in your life and you've really, you're kind of maybe moving with that flow, or maybe there are some changes that are about to happen, but you're kind of just waiting for things to fall into place a little more. Maybe you're waiting for some timing to be right in order to take action on these things that are going to move or change. Let's grab a couple of cards. You have the Wheel of Fortunes come out. We'll grab another one as well. This is something that you're, and the Wheel of Fortune talks about a cycle, sort of one finishing and another one ending. So, this one seems to have stuck itself out here. We have the Devil. So I think what you're really hoping for is that for some, I guess, unhelpful things to fall away and for a new cycle to begin. We're going to clarify those cards in a moment, but we're just going to grab... So you're kind of sensing that things are changing. Your higher self has come on board. You're aware of when you are moving into high frequency, We're going to grab a couple of cards now, like a possible outcome, okay? That's because you're certainly tuning into your higher self. Let's see what's going to happen as a result of that. Okay. This waiting, maybe things are not going to go as quickly as you would like. Maybe you're still, you know, there could be things that you are not seeing. The other interesting thing too is that this card here, which is often the case with Four of Cups, of course, there's a hand that's holding out this card here that's literally, this cup, sorry, that's sort of full of rainbows and colours on this side, but this person's sort of looking over this way. So, yeah, there could be something, you know, that's distracting you, and maybe, Libra, maybe there's some low vibe stuff or attachments that you're wanting to let go of. You know, so one outcome could be that, you know, they're not going to be things that you're going to let go of quickly. However, we also have the Queen of Wands that's just popped out here. So there's kind of like a choice point here, isn't there? You can either kind of place your consciousness, and given that, you know, you've got your higher self on board here and you're really tuning into that, I think this might be to do with like, hey, you know, this Queen of Wands here is sort of saying that it's really your choice, because she's sort of got her hand out and she can see this colour here, so she's facing it. But then there's another, you know, it's really going to be a choice point for you, Libra, okay, as to what you focus on and where you're going to be placing your time, energy and attention. But like we said at the start of the reading, you're really tapping into your inner magician. So I think it's going to be erring on the side of, you know, that you're going to move beyond this old cycle and into the new one. Okay, that's what it's sort of looking like to me there. Let's grab some cards for spirit guidance now. Just a couple to jump out. Thanks, Spirit, if we can. Okay. And we'll look at the bottom of the deck here in a moment as well. So you have Two of Pentacles and Seven of Pentacles. Interesting thing is here for you, Libra, these are both earth cards and you're an air sign. So this is about you grounding. So really doing something that's going to get your energy out of the mind, okay, out of the head, down into the body, into the feet, into the earth. And it's also about flow, so moving into flow. And I think because sometimes this energy can be a result of being too much in the head, because sometimes, you know, the wands or the fire energy is really about moving into the passion and getting inspiration from somewhere, even just being in different environments around different types of people, whatever gives you a lift, or doing different things. This is about really consolidating, but also utilizing your own energy to kind of create growth, development, evolution. You know, this person here actually has energy coming out of his hand, but it's also almost like it's coming in from the cosmos as well. So it's also about really Spirit saying to remember that you are a conduit for divine energy, okay, and that you have an energy body, and that, you know, human beings are quite sensitive, and depending on where we are placed, what we're doing, what's happening with our consciousness and where we are, and the types of things that we are speaking, thinking and feeling, okay, this can really change the quality of the energy that we feel and that is permeating us. Okay, let's look at the bottom of the deck, which is the overall energy for the reading. King of Pentacles, really nice. Okay, this is about you holding space for your own abundance and your personal growth here, Libra, okay? But, you know, a very grounded energy. We're also just going to look at the bottoms of the decks of the others. We have the Knave of Swords, which I think is the Page of Swords. So that's about getting curious, okay, and adopting a learning mindset. And this could simply be about learning about yourself, you know, learning about and looking into exploring those things that maybe are in your subconscious, aspects of your conditioning that you feel have been holding you back, or that keep you in, you know, these sorts of emotional and mental states, okay, of non-movement, of inertia, of boredom, and that type of thing. Just to understand where that's coming from. Okay. And here we've doubled up on the Queen of Wands. Wow, Libra. Okay. This is, you know, about you really moving into passion. Okay. Doing what inspires you, what gives you a lift. You have 2 Queens of Wands in your reading here. Okay, so there's a lot of positive overall energies for your reading. What are we going to do next? We might clarify. Actually, no, we're going to grab some a couple of fairy tarots to just pop at the center here. You know, just to get a different take on what's going on. Yeah, I feel. Let's just have a look. We'll grab a couple of cards here. 6 of Cups, 6 of Water. Once again, about emotional exchange. Can also be talking about, I guess, a bit of nostalgia, something you like to do as a child or that you love to do. Underneath here it says, positive changes are on their way, which is, yes, you're finishing that old cycle and you will be able to release that. Okay. A welcome relief from troubled times, traveling or relocating. Okay, so that's like some welcome relief, positive, lighter vibe energies coming in there for you as well. 7 of Pentacles, which you also had here, 7 of Earth. Okay, confirmation once again that energy is going to be really helpful for you because that's your spirit guidance energy. Here we have, okay, have patience and don't worry. Take time to rest and plan your next steps. A prudent investment of time or money. So that's like, you know, about careful consideration, but really thinking about your own evolution, your personal growth and development, and where you want to be, in what direction you want to be moving in overall, okay? And then just seeing if other things are lining up with that. On the bottom of this deck, we have the 8 of Spring or the 8 of Wands. Once again, confirmation of, you know, this 8 of Wands here, which we were talking about, was, you know, movement or things changing, but maybe you are just, there's a bit of a holding phase at the moment. Stress that comes from having many things happening at once, okay? Successful multitasking, sudden events or changes. So, and the fact that with your 8 of Wands here, you have the High Priestess, it sort of means that I think you're using your intuition to really kind of navigate all of these things that are, maybe they're in flux, maybe there's some things changing, and you're really kind of, you know, using your wisdom and patience and, you know, your inner guidance to really move through that with grace and ease, okay? Let's grab, I'll go for time, yep. Let's have a look at this Knight of Cups and the Magician. Wow, Page of Pentacles. So yeah, the Magician is about potential, and the Page of Pentacles has just clarified that there is something new in the wings here. But I think that your emotional well-being is going to really help you to move forward and make the most of your inner resources. So it means that your emotional body needs to be on board with the next project that you're going to do. It's not just, you're not going to choose something that's just purely logical, okay? You're going to be choosing something that feels good, that feels in alignment for your soul and your higher self, because you are, you know, going to be choosing what's right for you. Let's clarify the High Priestess and 8 of Wands. The Knight of Wands. Yeah, so, you know, just, I think this is a warning to things. You may feel as though things want to move fast, or that they are moving very fast, but you have the power here, Libra, to slow it down, okay? You are in control. You know how to slow things down. This is just saying that there may be forces around you or people around you that are wanting to rush you, but you don't have to be doing that, okay? You don't have to rush things. Did say in the center here, yeah, take time to rest and plan your next steps with the Seven of Pentacles. Okay, so take your time, Libra. Let's clarify the Priest and the Justice as well, just to see, we'll get another angle on that. The Moon, yeah, that makes sense. Oh, we have the Ten of Pentacles as well, okay. Before I could stop it, it just wanted to come out. So this is saying that perhaps your higher self is, well, this could first of all be saying to check out your moon sign, okay, which may provide you with some extra information. But your higher self could be sort of, maybe it's sort of deeper in your subconscious, maybe it's not so conscious yet, okay? If you don't feel that you can feel into your higher self, you will be able to, okay? And this is the, you know, the legacy, the abundance on many levels. So Spirit's also saying that within the subconscious, there is a lot of richness, and I'm not talking material wealth necessarily, although that can come as a result of full alignment with higher self and, you know, ego self, right? But allowing the higher self and the aspects of the subconscious to come forward for healing and processing can be like a release and a relief from things that have been holding you back. Because, you know, we can be our own worst enemy, not to be too dramatic, but, you know, sometimes we're in what we perceive our situation is, which can be sort of negative or hopeless. Sometimes it's not as bad as what we have perceiving it to be, okay? So, but Spirit's saying that for many of us, the key to our abundance is going to be to allow the subconscious to come forward, and for this to be a nice balance between conscious and subconscious mind, okay, and your higher self, which for many of us, you know, sometimes there are aspects of our higher self that are activated in our lives, and sometimes there are other aspects of our higher self that are not kind of as online yet, or as obvious. And one of those, I think, is definitely spirit connection. Okay. Interesting thing is that the Justice here is the sword is pointing to, you know, the higher realms, pointing to higher realms. So that might be something you wanted to tune into. Let's clarify the Devil and the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, I'm going to be wrapping it up pretty soon. Wow. Right, the Devil and the Wheel of Fortune is clarified by the Devil, the World, and the Seven of Cups. So Libra, there could be some attachments, or maybe, you know, maybe this is simply like, this can be like almost a workaholism, like a lot of hard work. Okay, but this is a nice blend of freedom and responsibility. So maybe there are things that are distracting you, or maybe there are options open to you now that, well, actually, this is actually the perception of limited options, isn't it? This looks like that, you know, what this is kind of saying is that, Libra, there are more options out there than maybe you are currently considering. There are more possibilities out there than you have been party to or that you are engaging in. And if you feel like this, okay, it's time to really get that Knave of Swords hat on and start exploring the options, okay? Because you have the power here, the King and, you know, the King of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands. You have this power to hold space for yourself and to work on your personal growth and development, okay? And to move into flow here. This is spirit guidance, okay? So yeah, there's more out there possibly than you are, you know, currently considering, and also within you. And here we have the Two of Cups on the bottom of this deck as well, which is about healing, bringing your higher self and ego self together, bringing your inner child and adult self together, bringing your divine feminine, divine masculine aspects together as well, because these are all actions and inner, I guess, shifts that are really going to help you to activate your higher self here. That's going to be really connected to spirit, okay? That is, you know, and I think what's happening is that many of these higher frequencies are coming in. This is represented by the Eight of Wands. All these shifts and changes are going on, and if you feel like things are in flux, it's because we're all having to assimilate these higher frequencies, and the way we do that is that we align with our whole soul more so. Okay, we align with flow. Okay, so we're going to feel more at peace with the high frequencies coming in because we would have elevated ourselves. Okay, so Libra, I hope that's been helpful. Look forward to our next reading. In the meantime, have a great day, a great week, and I'll see you again soon.